Hello world. So in the last tutorial we ended up here with the layout of our app done. So today, as I promised, we're going to be dealing with the left navigation. Alright, so let's take a look at this real quick. Alright, so how I like to imagine this is in boxes. So in this case we have this top part, right, which contains the logo, all right, and then this part which contains the tabs, like the different tabs we can go to, like the different tabs we can click to switch to screens, and then this bottom tab that contains like the other tabs, but I like to think of these as like secondary tabs, because obviously you would like rarely come in here as opposed to clicking this. All right, so here we have three box layouts. So this one, that one, and the root one obviously is going to be a horizontal layout. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I don't have this logo unfortunately, forgot to ask for it, so I'm just going to go in here and I am going to just grab a logo real quick. So all right, once that, while this one is loading, let's just go back and be coding. Okay, so for the nav, this is it. So we're going to remove this color and we're going to make this in vertical box. So vertical, and padding, let's add some padding in there, and 8. So now let's add those boxes. So box layout number 1, and this is going to be the logo box. Alright, and yeah, let's size this. So size hint Y. The logo, alright, good. This one's is in there. So what is this? Boring. Yeah, let's just grab this. Alright, so I just take that and I'm just going to export this. So I'm actually going to make it a square. Okay, so let's just, Jesus, bring to front, put it in there, scale it down a bit, make sure it's correctly aligned, G that, and remove the background, and boom, we are done. So let's just export this. Shit, let me just make this logo like that, export this, go back here, and let's import it to our packages. So this is the part where you add your own logo, by the way. So this is unique dash assets images, and just put that logo in there, close this out. All right, and we are ready to go. So let's add that logo in. So size hint, now if we go back here, let's check the sizing real quick. This has the smallest size and this has the biggest. So for example, if I give this 6 and then 3 and then 1, should be good. So let's just, for now, let's give you 1 and maybe 3, and then here we have the nav. Actually, let's just make it the tabs box, and then this is the secondary box, like that. Let's give you 6, let's give you 3, and yeah, let's check how it looks, but don't think we actually need to check. Let's just run this. So for this, we're going to cheat a bit. We are going to import our icon button, we are going to import it from widgets dot buttons dot icon button, like that. All right, and let's see real quick. These are going to be tabs and blah 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 blah. Everything looks good. Okay, so our icon button, we have it, and now let's create that logo. Okay, so to create that logo, we are just going to use an icon button. Alright, this is a custom widget that I made, so it's not in Kivy, but it's in our widgets. Okay, so the source for this is going to be assets, images, and logo.png. Alright, and then let's add text. So this again is a custom widget that I made, unique dash This is a custom widget that I made, and it's available under the labels file right there. Okay, so icon button, and I want the size hint x of this to be none. Actually, let's make the whole size of this none, like that and that. And then let's make the size of this to be dp 42 and dp 42. All right, and then to make sure it's always centered, I'm just going to wrap this with an anchor layout. So an anchor layout, for those of you who don't know, will push your widget to the center of the bounding box. So I'll just anchor this to the right, and then top bottom is going to be at the center. All right, and then what else? Oh yeah, so size hint x for this anchor layout is going to be none, and the width actually is going to be 42. Okay, just like that. Yep, should be good. And now we should have that box there. So let's just run this and confirm everything's working, and no, nothing's working. What is the problem? Unknown class text. Oh yeah, I didn't import it. Sorry about that. So Kivy import, we want to import text from widgets dot labels dot text. All right, and in init. All right, so before we get an error in init here, let's add our styles. So we say from kivy.utils, we want to import query dict, like that. We want to import RGBA again, and then from kivy.metrics, we want to import DP. Remember DP and SP. SP is for scale independent pixels. That's for fonts. All right, and then in here we are going to define our colors first. So colors is going to be a query dict. All right, and then colors dot primary is going to be RGBA value of a primary color that we are going to get from this. So we're just going to use this blue. All right, so I'm just going to go here, try to find a blue, this blue. Let's get that value there, and you can just copy this or use whatever colors you want. Really, it's all up to you. And then secondary color is let's see, where is it? Dashboard. What could be our secondary color? This one. So yeah, let's go back and let's find that color, or let's just create our own. All right, so I like, yeah, something like that. So let's just copy that, and that will be our secondary color. All right, and then we are going to need two more colors. So I like success for the green, and danger for the red, danger and warning for the yellow, warning, like that. So let's get those colors really quickly. So green, yep, this one should, no, this one, maybe something like that. Yep, so that's for success. So success should be the green, and then for the reds, yep, this one should work great. So that's the red for danger, and then for warning, I like this yellow. So yeah, copy that yellow and put it in warning, like that. And then that's it for our colors. So now the next thing is for our fonts. So fonts is equal to query dict, and then fonts dot size is equal to a query dict as well. All right, so fonts dot heading, so this is going to be the bold font, and I'm just going to go to assets, fonts, roboto, and this is, let's use black. Should we? Let's just check real quick. Doesn't look like there's much. Oh yeah, black is there. So yeah, let's use roboto black. So I actually don't like black, so yeah, we'll cheat a little. Let's use bold. All right, and then just put these, and then the next one is subheading, and then the body text. So body. So for the subheading, I am going to use, let's use regular. So copy relative, or actually let's just change this to regular, makes it faster, and then change the body to light. Is there light? Yep, right there, light. All right, so now let's deal with the sizes. So fonts dot size dot h1 is equal to, let's start with 24. Right, go down 1 2 3 4 5 6 12 14 16 18 and 22. All right, so now we have our theme. Like, we're going to be using same sizes everywhere on our app. All right, so now we have the text. Let's just run this, and we have our logo and unique dash. So it's not fitting well there, so let's change that. Let's go back to here. Looks like 42 is too big, so let's make it 32. And yeah, actually, to make things easier to change in the future, let's just say size hint y, size hint y. All right, make size hint y equal to none. All right, and x is going to be full size now, because we already defined it at the top. So now height, instead of setting the height, however, we'll just set it to whatever the width of this icon button is. All right, oh, let's run this, and that's too big. Ooh, doesn't fit at all. So self dot width, size in y. Oh yeah, I should have done this instead. Size in x, none, width db32. Strange. Okay, let's set it to 32, and let's see how this looks. Alright, so unique dash still doesn't fit. Alright, and this is concerning. Probably because we have, let's increase this, and one, where's the other one? Right here. Yeah. So the other thing we could do is to simply just reduce the font size, and now it's really big, but it looks like this. Where is it? So now what we're going to do actually is, let's go back to 1.5. Alright, and then on the text field here, let's make the font like that font that we were using. So app.fonts.heading. Alright, and let's change the font size to app.fonts.h. Let's make it h3 for now. app.fonts.size.h3. App.fonts.heading. Strange. What seems to be the problem? App.fonts.size.h3. App.fonts.size says there is no app.fonts.size. Fonts.size correct. Oh yeah. Sorry. h2, h3, h4, h5, h6, like that. Now let's run this. Alright, looks like it fits now. Okay, cool. So this is done, and we have our custom font right there. So that's done, so we can safely close that. Now let's come to the tricky part. So if you notice, this is like a custom toggle, really. So let's create that one real quick, and we are going to create it at the bottom right here. So real quick, let's make let's call it a tab, a nav tab, like that. And this is going to inherit from a toggle button. Alright, and the first thing we want to do is remove all the default styling from this. So background normal is nothing, and background down. So normal is when the tab is not pressed, down is when the toggle button has been pressed. So by default, we also want to remove background color. All right, so let's just make it a transparent color because we have no way of just removing it, you know. So color for this, RGBA. For now, let's make it 0 0 0 0 ooh, 0 0 like that. We'll come back to it in a second. So rectangle, the position of this rectangle is self.pose. The size of this rectangle is the size of this toggle button, just like that. Simple enough. So what we want to do is, if we are at this tab, which means this toggle button is down, we want to have this bluish background and this, and also change the text to that blue. Okay, so what we're going to do that is, here we're going to say if it's not pressed, then we'll have 0 0 0 like that. So if self.state is equal to normal, which means it's not currently pressed, otherwise the color is going to be app.color. Oh, actually we want it to be transparent, so we're going to need to use like a custom color really. So here let's see if we can get what color is this. Alright, let's just use an interim one, so RGB and then 0.1. Alright, so if it's not pressed, then it's going to be transparent. If it is pressed, then it's going to be a bluish color. So RGB, RNG, like that. I think that should look like it. Alright, and yeah, the next thing is to create this line right there. Okay, so this color is, if it's not pressed, again it's going to be this, but if it is pressed, then it's going to be app.colors.primary, and we want the position is the same, but the size, the size for this is going to be on the x-axis. So what we're currently trying to build, by the way, is this blue item right there. Okay, so the size of it, let's just make it size 0, no, size 1. So the height should be the same height as the height of this toggle, but on the x-axis, like the width of it, let's just make it, let's make it 8 for now, and then we can just change it later. And then the position of this is the tricky part. So the position of this, on the y-axis we want it to be the same position, so 1 on the y-axis, and then on the x-axis, now if we leave it like this, it's going to appear here, but we want it to appear here. So what we're going to do is do some math. So it's going to be self.position 0, which is at the start, and then plus the current width, which is going to push it to the end. Alright, so self.size 1, which pushes it to the end, and we won't be able to see it. Actually, we should be able to see it. So yeah, let's just let me just show you real quick, but this is not what we want. We're just going to modify this in a bit, but let's just ascertain that we have everything we need. So the other thing is, if you check here, right, you'll see that this text, the color of the text is different on all of these. Okay, so if it's pressed, then the color is blue. If it's not, then the color is gray. So what we want to do is basically just copy this. Alright, and we would say color is equal to gray. So gray, for gray we're just going to use RGBA value of, let's just use C4, C4, C4. So if it's normal, then it's going to be gray. If it's not normal, then it's going to be the primary color. So let's just use this before we add the icons and stuff. And this is supposed to be in the tabs box. Alright, so we're just going to add nav tab in here, give it text of overview, and for this one we're just going to say down, and then let's just duplicate this a couple times, and then here, this is very important, let's give it a group of tabs. So the group ensures that only one tab can be selected at a time. Alright, so let's just run this, and as you can see, these are the items, but this is appearing like this simply because let me show you real quick. Where is it? Tabs. We are missing the orientation for these custom tabs. Okay, so orientation is vertical. Alright, let's run this again, and now we can see how it looks. So what we need to do is push these to the right. Okay, let's go back and where is it? Let me add spacing first, because I just noticed it doesn't look good with without the spacing. So let's add that spacing. Let's run this again, and yeah, now they look pretty nice. So custom right here, so self.pose 0 plus self.size 1, and then self.size 1, we want to subtract that, what is it, 8 pixels. Alright, let's run this again, and this is pretty strange because this should appear there. So anyway, let's see where we got wrong, and this is right there. So now everything should look good. Okay, so now we have that, but the color we have here doesn't really look like that color. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cheat and just pick this color. Okay, so where is it? Color picker, and let's just pick that color, and let's copy its value right there. Alright, and here where is it? The first one, this one, the color is going to be that. Ooh, the RGBA value of that. Okay, so let's run this now, and there we go. So now we're just missing the icon. Okay, so here let me show you the different states that are there. So these ones should not be down, so let's just remove all of these. Alright, and click this. So now you see we have gray, and you can change to tabs like this. Alright, so we're getting somewhere. Now we're just missing that the icons. Alright, so since we have a proof of concept here, now we can easily go to views, view.py, and let's just copy this class, paste it there, and we are going to change this to a nav tab. Okay, because this is actually going to be a custom class now. So here, let's say from kivy.uix.behaviors, we want to import the toggle button behavior. So this is essentially going to make our box layout a toggle button. Alright, so let's make sure we import that toggle button right there. Alright, and what we're going to need here is actually that's it. So we're done with that. So we're going to need the text attribute actually for the toggle button text. So we are also going to need to import a property here. So from kivy.properties, import string property. Alright, and that's what we're going to use to store our text. So string property, which is going to be default to none, and then the other thing is the icon. So icon is also going to be none for now. Alright, so what we're going to do is main.kv, that's the one. So here, let's modify our toggle button. First thing, let's remove this because we have the class up here. Alright, and then here what we need is two labels. So we're just going to use the text attribute, and let's H align this to the center, and let's V align this to the middle. So V align to the middle like that. Alright, and what we need is, this is going to be basically the icon for our nav tab. So size int y, no, size int x is equal to none. The height is going to be self.width. Oh no, I mean the width, sorry. The width is going to be self.height. So this ensures that this text box is always going to be a box, like a perfect square. Alright, let's copy this. Let's remove these two, and the text for this is going to be root.text. Alright, and the color for this text is this one right there. So let's just copy it down to there. Alright, and then let's copy this exact same thing to here. And you know what, actually let's use something different. Let's use a widget for this, because this is just an icon, it's not really a text. Alright, so we're just going to remove these two, and then let's copy basically this. Let's put it down here, make sure we indent correctly, and the color for this is going to be 00, otherwise it's going to be 111. You know what, I changed my mind. Let's make it like full white, alright, so that it always, like, the canvas is going to appear normal on everything really. And then here, instead of this being color, let's change this to being source. Alright, and the source is going to be root.source. Alright, if self.state is equal to normal, otherwise it's going to be root.source, right, up to -3. Actually let's just make it easier, so we'll say icon and then icon active. Alright, so these are going to be different icons for when it's active or not. So it's going to be root.source, it's actually root.icon, and then root.icon active. So when it's active, we're going to show this icon. When it's not active, we're going to show that icon. Alright, so let's just put this in source, and then here self.size, like that. Done. So what this basically means is we're going to paint a rectangle, but we're not going to paint it with color, we're going to paint it with an image, and the source of that image is going to be where this icon is. If this is not selected, if it's selected, then it's going to be the other icon, which is the active icon. Alright, I hope this makes sense to you. So I think we have everything we need here. So all we have to do now is go here and change this. So the first thing is icon. So for overview, let's just put for overview only, so that we are certain that everything looks as we expect. So for overview, actually I have no idea what I named it, so let's see if I can find it. Grid, pretty sure it was grid. Yep, that's the one. So copy that. And so for the source of this icon, this is it. And for icon active, this is grid active. So icon active, like that. Let's run this, and hopefully it looks exactly like I wanted. And there's an error. So source root.icon if self.state is equal to normal, else root.icon active. So it says widget object is no attribute state. That is because we messed up. It's supposed to be if root.state. So same thing for here, root.state. Alright, let's run this again. Alright, so we have the icon and overview, but as you can see, it's pretty big. So we are going to fix that with changing this to an anchor layout. Alright, and then changing this thing, making this go inside, like that. Alright, so for the anchor layout, we have everything we need. We just need to pad this a bit. So let's pad it 4 pixels on all sides. Alright, check this out. It's becoming smaller, but not small enough. Let's pad it again, make it 6, and run this. And yep, looks I don't like it still. Let's make it 8. Check this out. Yep, now it's looking pretty good. Let's just cross-reference this, and yeah. Alright, so that's the widget. We're going to clean these later, but actually for now that should do it. So anchor layout and blah blah blah. So now what we need to do is see if this will change if this is not normal. So let's just move to here, and as you can see, the color has changed to this black. If you go back, changes to blue. All right, looking good so far. So the next thing we're going to do is just add these to the rest of them. All right, so let's go ahead and do just that. Let's just copy this to the rest of the guys like that, and then this is analytics cells. So analytics cells, and then change this to IC analytics. Is it? Can't remember. I called it trend, I believe. Trend. Yep, trend. And then trend active, obviously. And then for sales, it's the cart. So IC cart, and then cart active. That's what it's called, right? Yep. All right. So and then customers and finance. So customers, finance. So for customers, I believe I called it people. Yep. So people, and for finance, I called it $1. Was it? Money. Yep. I see money, and money here as well. Money and money active. All right, that's the last one. Orders. For orders, I believe I called it bag, and bag here as well. So let's run this, and there we go. But still looks too big in my opinion, so I'm just going to reduce it again. So go back. The good thing about custom widgets like this is, you see, you reduce it in one widget and it should reduce for all of them. So let's just reduce that with 12, and yep. Alright, now it looks better. Let's see if we make it 14. How big is this thing? Yep, 14 should work. So we're just padding this to reduce the size. So yep, it's looking pretty good. All right, I like it. Let's see if we set this to left. All right, like that. That should push it to the left. All right, now it makes more sense. All right, so we have this and that. The last thing is the bottom ones. So just real quick, what I'm thinking of doing actually is changing this from a box layout to a grid layout. So instead of orientation vertical, let's change this to cols 1, which means one column only. So by default, this is going to lay your widgets vertically. All right, so let's run this again. And so far, so good. I love it. All right, let's go back. And I think we have, like, our height is pretty big. So let's size it. Why this? Make it none. Let's change the height to 54. Run this again. And yep, too big. What about 42? Yep, 42 is looking pretty neat actually. Alright, so there you have it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Looking pretty good. So now we have the bottom part, and the bottom stuff is what is it? These three. So we have that, and then the bottom part. So let's deal with that bottom line right there. So let's close this up. We want to come here and we want to say canvas.before color RGBA color of RGBA of C4 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 rectangle. Position of this rectangle is the position of this box layout, and the size of this rectangle is the width is exactly the width that we want, but the height is not. So let's just 1 there. This should draw a line at the bottom. Where could I possibly have gone wrong? Ooh, looks like we took out that nav tab here. Nav tab, like that. Alright, go back, let's run this, and there we have that line. Cool. Okay, so now we have the line and we have our spacing, so now we can just close this up, and you know what, we'll actually just copy these. So how many are there? 3, which means we can just copy these 3, right? Copy these, close down our box layout, and on the secondary box just paste them in there and change this to a grid layout again. And I'm just going to change this to calls 1, and then I'm going to add some padding at the top, and I'm just going to add like 12. Alright, and this is support, settings, and logout. So support, settings, and finally log out. No spaces are there? Yep, there are spaces. Log out, just like that. Now we change these. So support, I believe I called it chat. What is it? Settings. Did I call it settings? Yep, settings. So now we're basically just repeating the same thing. Shit, I may have forgotten the log out button. Alright, so for the logout button, for now we're just going to leave it like this because this has gone on for far too long. Alright, so support settings, that, and we have a problem because apparently support is active. So let's remove that, close that, and run it again. Alright, looks like the dash is done. So now all we have to do is connect this to our stuff up there. Looks like cart doesn't have an active. Cart dash active. Ooh, messed up there. So cart, where is it? It's supposed to be cart dash active. Let's run this again. And yep, this is where we are going to stop for this one, ladies and gentlemen. We have our dash done. So the next thing we're going to look at on our next one is adding this top bar. Alright, so I hope you like where this is going so far. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, please, pretty please, like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me quite a lot, and it actually motivates me to keep going with this. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. If you like this, like it. If you didn't, definitely tell me in the comment section why you didn't like it. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.